ladies, today we're going to do a really easy purple eye smoky look, and we're going to be using Regal, Awestruck, Corrupted, and Curious. So we're actually going to get started very quickly, and I say very quickly because I don't like to take too long on these tutorials. And I have dipped my brush in some water here. I've actually broken my rose water, so I have to use tap water today. And I'm going to get a little bit of Curious on my brush. You can see how much I've got on there. And I'm going to apply that here underneath my brow on each eye. And then I'm going to apply a little bit here to the inner corner of each eye just for a highlight. Okay, and you can see just a little bit. Don't have too much on, we just want a little bit of a highlight. Because here in just a second we're going to really show some color. So I've already tapped some Regal out into my lid, and you can see don't have too much, and this is going to take care of both eyes, and I'll probably have some left over in my lid. So I'm going to use my deluxe brush by Younique, and I have already dipped it in water, and I have blotted it off onto a paper towel. And then I'm just going to dip it into my pigment. I'm going to try to show you here because I did not show in my last tutorial. And it almost kind of makes a paste a little bit. You can see, and I just get a very little bit on my brush there. And I'm going to apply this to my lid. And you can see right off that is a pretty bold color. I'm going to get a little bit more on my brush. Regal, you can apply dry and you can still get a really bold color with this pigment when it's dry. Not all of them will do that, but Regal and Awestruck are two that will be bold pretty much however you wear them. I like to apply my pigments wet because it keeps them from falling onto my cheeks. And it also does make the color much more bold, which I really like. So you can see one eye there has got the Regal. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other eye. And I've just dipped my brush into water again. And you can see what's in my lid. See how it's kind of swirled around? That's just where I have made sort of a paste with it. I'm just going to apply that to my other lid here. And I do go a little bit up into my crease and just a little above my crease on the outer edges. That's how I like to wear mine. Depends on how high you like to wear it. Everybody's different. Now you could totally just stop with this color and not even put any other colors on because it's so pretty. I'm going to even up this side here because I get them uneven sometimes. And we will go back and blend these edges in because those are pretty defined lines there and we don't want to leave it like that. But for now, that's all we have to do. And then we're going to go ahead and start with our Awestruck. And I have some tapped out in my lid, and I'm going to go ahead and just rinse out my deluxe brush. I'm going to use that same brush. So I've just dipped it in water and I've wiped it on my paper towel. I'm going to get a little bit of my Awestruck here. And this is a pretty bold color too, and you can see how much I've got on my brush there. And we're just going to go on the inner area of my lid and kind of out to the edge here just a little bit. You can see what I've done there. We will blend that, but these two colors are so pretty together. Awestruck is sort of a blue, has some purple in it, but it's more of a blue. And of course Regal is very, very purple, and it's one of my very favorite colors. Okay, you can see those two colors together there. Make sure they're both even. Okay, so now I'm going to take my liner shader brush and we're going to apply Corrupted as our liner. So we've got the liner shader brush, and you can see this end here is very defined, and that makes a really great liner with your pigment. So I'm going to dip that end of the brush into my water. And again, rose water actually, when you're using your pigment as liner, rose water works much, much better than tap water does. But I broke mine on my bathroom floor, so I've just gotten a little bit. And I do make sure to get my pigment on both sides of my liner brush. It just works better whenever you're trying to line your eyes. So I pull my eye out like you're not supposed to and just start to line the upper lid just right above my lash line. And you can see how nicely that goes on. You get a really defined edge, which I like so much, and this stays on so much better than your regular eyeliner does. I've worn lots of different kinds of eyeliners, and Younique is about to, here in just a few days, we're coming out with new liners, lip and eyeliners, and they really, really stay on well. I'm pretty excited to try them, but honestly, I really like using my pigment as a liner as well. I'll probably still do both. I'm just going to go back over this one a little bit. Now, if you get your pigments on darker than you would like, especially if you're applying them wet, you can just give them a few minutes and let them dry. Get your brush and go back over them and buff them in, and they'll lighten up for you. You can just keep blending until you get them as light as you want. Okay, so you can see that I've got my pigments there. Sorry, my mirror's down here and my phone is up here. And I'm going to flip my liner shader brush over and use my brush part here. And I'm going to just get a little more of the corrupted on the end of that brush because we're going to apply it to the inner V, or I'm sorry, the outer V, just to give it more of a smoky look. Now it doesn't take much at all, and sometimes I get too much, so we'll see how I do today. And I just very, very lightly apply it into the upper crease and down on the bottom where I applied my liner. And just basically I'm making a V. That's all I'm doing. And I know that that looks pretty harsh right now. We're going to blend that in just a second. Just wipe my brush off onto my paper towel, dip it in water, blot it, get a tiny bit more on your brush, and we will do the other side here. Up into the V, and no matter what colors I'm wearing, I typically always do this, these steps. I almost apply all of my pigments the same way. It's very, very easy for me, and if you're, especially if you're a beginner, this is a really easy way to apply your pigments. As if you've watched my other videos, you've heard me say many times I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a makeup artist at all, so this is just how I apply mine, and it's what works really well for me. Okay, so that's like really dark, but you can see how that has been applied on there. So I'm going to take my first brush that I had my Curious on. I'm going to get just a tiny bit more Curious on it, and we're going to go back over and smooth all these edges out here. This step is really important because you don't want to look really mean and really harsh. And these bold colors can make you do that if you're not careful. But blending them and softening them up really gives it a nice, pretty look. Okay, that's one eye. You can see the difference there. Gonna go to the other side. And I just wash my brushes afterward with regular water and let them dry. Get that inner area there where we have a pretty defined line. Okay, so you can see there's our finished look with our pigments. That did not take very long at all. It's a really, really easy look. It's great for summer. It's just fun color. I do like to always end my pigment tutorials with none other than our mascara. So I am only wearing my regular mascara right now. I've got 2 coats of my Revlon mascara, so we're going to go ahead and apply 1 coat of Younique's mascara. If you've never tried this before, it's amazing. You absolutely have to try it. There's nothing else that's better that I've ever found. This is the best mascara and the last one you'll ever buy. You have got a transplanting gel and you have your fibers. So we will start by applying our transplanting gel. I'm just going to do this on my right eye and you'll be able to see the difference between this eye and this eye. And again, I have regular mascara on first. So I'm going to apply my transplanting gel. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you coat all of your lashes, because when you apply your fibers in a second, you really want them to have something to stick to. And it's totally up to you if you want to do your lower lash line. I typically don't. I just do regular mascara on it, or I'll just do my transplanting gel. But you also want to make sure you only do one eye at a time, because you want your fibers to stick to your lashes and they need to be good and wet when you apply them. Alright, so we've got one coat of transplanting gel and you can probably already see a good difference there. Now we have our fibers. And we're going to apply those to our transplanting gel. And you can probably already start to see, I mean, this is not great lighting that I have here because I am on an iPhone, but you can probably see the difference already just with a little bit of effort. I'm telling you, this is not hard at all whatsoever. So when I do my fibers, I make sure to coat all of my lashes, but do not get them near your lash line. Your water line. Don't get them near your eyeball because that doesn't really feel good. They're not going to hurt you. They're 100% green tea leaves. They're all natural, but we don't want them in our eyes. Now this last step is extremely important. You want to make sure you go back to your transplanting gel and you're going to coat your entire lash line again. That's going to seal all of those fibers in. Most women that I have had issues, or they tell me they've had issues with it, actually I'm going to say 100%, it's because they forgot this last step. So if you forget it, you're going to have fibers on your cheek. You're going to kind of look funny and somebody's going to say, what is that on your face? So we don't want that. So we're going to take our transplanting gel again and we're going to go back over every area that we applied our fibers. And we're just going to seal them in really good. Now I usually only apply one coat. You can apply as many coats as you want to, which is what is so fabulous about this mascara. You can keep layering and get, you know, as dramatic of a look as you want to. I go to work, so I don't want to come in there looking like really, really sassy. So I'm just going to do one coat. I'm going to make sure though that I do get everything covered here so my fibers don't go anywhere. And by the way, if you do this third step and you find that you have fibers falling, that means you did not apply enough transplanting gel. So apply more next time. And it doesn't take much. You just have to make sure that you get your entire area. So I'm going to try to get in here closer, see if you can see the difference between regular mascara and then the 3D, and that is just one coat there. So that is all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope it was a little bit helpful. If nothing else, I encourage you to try some really fun, bright colors. You'll never be the same. Thank you.